Merry Christmas. I'm Jody Pritzel, author of 3 vintage Christmas books, 2 devoted to ornaments, and 1 to stamps. Thanks for buying my books from Amazon. Ornament hunting is like walking on a beach looking for shells. You can find a million whelks, but when you discover a moon shell or a worm shell, you hold it up and you say, "Woo! Look what I found." I'm so grateful so many of you, after watching my other 2 scent cap videos, emailed me with, "Look what I found." Big reveal in a bit on 2 for 15-cent caps. I'll cover what the Franke product numbers tell us about scent cap sizes and show you my helpers ornaments. So grateful for all of you, so don't skip the credits to see their names at the end. When you talk about decorators of Corning blown glass bulbs, it's important to understand Max Eckhart and George Franke were wholesalers. They purchased blown colored cap bulbs from Corning Glass Works in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. George Franke required their retail customers to order 100 pounds minimum, which, if you used 2 1/4 inch bulb, was 9 cartons. Each carton held 36 dozen, or 432 bulbs, meaning that the minimum number of bulbs ordered was 3,888. I think that's a lot of Christmas ornaments to sell. The retailers bought those dozens for 34 cents each and sold them for the profit you see here. So Jody, what the heck does that mean? Well, if the dozens weren't selling, peddle singles, or give consumers needing a complete tree the chance to mix and match, plucking what they needed from the boxes. In the last 2 videos, I gave a lot of information, and this advertisement really sums up how the prices varied by size. The 5 centers were 1 3/4, 10 centers 2 inch, and the 15 cents 2 5/8. So updated information, 19-cent caps. Here's a beauty. Oh, look at these copper bulbs that Jeffrey in Gettysburg has. He has a complete set of 19-cent copper colored shiny bright Corning bulbs. So we do know that they could have been purchased as a dozen, and they were sold in the mid-1950s. Check out this close-up of the 19-cent cap. 15-cent caps. Now out in the wild, you can find many 2 5/8 inch bulbs with 10-cent caps. But here's an impressive reflector with a 15-cent cap. What a beauty. I find 15-cent caps to be fascinating, especially the secret 2 for 15 cents that I had never seen until Jeffrey was kind enough to send me this Franke 2 for 15-cent cap. I thought they were made up, but nope. Check out this beauty, 2 for 15 cents. Here's the Franke equivalent of a carriage lantern, 2 for 15 cents. Kathy has a 2 for 15-cent lantern. And thanks to Kathy, we know that a department store in Baltimore sold the 2 for 15-cent caps. Hutzler's had a 10-story building on Saratoga Street, and oddly enough, at one time George Franke had a location on Saratoga Street. So we have cent caps for sale in Baltimore, Maryland. Whew, wow, there's a surprise considering George Franke was headquartered there. The 214S you see in the tag meant inside were 1 dozen standard colors of red, green, blue, silver, gold, 2 1/4 inch. An advantage to buying singles was if you broke a color or wanted more of just one color, you could pick up that bulb. That would be nice because I break a few bulbs each video season. 10-cent caps. Kathy also sent in a picture of a Franke box used for selling 10-cent caps. This shows us that 10-cent Franke ornaments were sold as 2 5/8 because the product number is 258. And you can find 10-cent reflectors, trees, and stencils, including this amazing 10-cent solar system from Gail in Minnesota, who sent it to me. Oh, the breadth of 10 centers, thanks to Gail. Here's Christmas Village, also a 10-cent cap. Here's a decorated one, glitter, super cool. Now those are all shiny brights. Take a look at this picture of the 10-cent caps, though. I always try to acknowledge the hardworking folks in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania that made these ornaments. When you have craftsmanship, you have variation. Look at the cut end of the pike that you see here. So not everything is created equal. It's almost like seashells, right? I appreciate that someone 55 or 60 years ago went to work and they made these so I can show them to you today. And more 10-cent caps, stripes. Here's one shiny bright and a George Franke. Alan has these. Doggone Alan also has a frosted leaf and a scroll work. Personal favorite, which Allison has, is a Franke Merry Christmas 10-cent cap ornament. Super cool. Now here's a complete set of 10-cent Peace on Earth, courtesy of Jeffrey in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Wow. Who knew that you could get a complete set? Well, here's a goofy Jody theory about Jeffrey's Peace on Earth. If you look at the side of the box, it says Murphy SPEC. So what does that mean? Well, in 1906, 2 years after selling his first chain of 5 and dime stores to F.W. Woolworth Company, George Clinton Murphy opened his first discount variety store in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. He had 5 employees. Within 5 years, he had a chain of 10 stores in southwestern Pennsylvania, which he sold to John Mack and Walter Shaw, co-founders of the G.C. Murphy Company. 5, 10, 25-cent stores. Besides Pennsylvania, G.C. Murphy had an interest in stores in Texas. Still around in 1980, Murphy's sales approached $1 billion. So I think because of the size of Murphy, that there was a special run of Jeffrey's Peace on Earth, and that's why he's got a complete set. The year might have been 1955 because of the Merry Christmas, Happy New Year box, which means this set that Jeffrey has is celebrating 70 years of existence. Shout out to Jeffrey's grandmother, who worked at G.C. Murphy's in Gettysburg in the 50s and 60s, and I'm sure some of you also did. 8-cent caps. You can find 8 centers, but they're tough. For certain, Shiny Bright did decorate them. Look at this hand-decorated Allen ornament. Chad has a totally different 8-cent cap. I'm holding a real beauty here. I owe Gail in Minnesota an ice cream or a frosted beverage for sending me this 8-cent reflector. That ranks right up there with a moon shell, okay? 8-cent reflector. 5-cent caps. Let's pop back to where I started. The smaller the bulb, the less expensive denomination you're going to find on the cap. So Alan has this Franke box. It's a 134P5, which means 1 3/4 rounds, pastel colors, selling for 5 cents each. I think that nomenclature logic is the same 90% of the time. So when you look at your box and you say, well, I wonder what was in here, a 200 product number means 2-inch, which 2 5/8 is 258. So again, If the bulbs were never jumbled up with another box of ornaments, you can look at your box and say, ooh, they're 2 5/8 or 2-inch. 5-cent ornaments were also rounds, but also bells. And here's a Franke beehive from Doggone Allen in the top row. And a Franke stencil. Allen's ornament addiction, thank goodness his wife allows him to do that, has focused on acquiring a plethora of 5-cent caps. Here's a shiny bright shape. He has a 5-cent acorn and a Franke bell. Now here's interesting. Again, Shiny Bright's George Franke both sell cent cap ornaments. Carol has a 5-cent Shiny Bright bell. Jeffrey has held on to this full box of Corning Shiny Bright 5-cent blue ornaments. I think he's ready for the aluminum tree and the blue bulbs to go on it. And to solve a mystery from the first cent cap video, I questioned Al B's cap that he sent in. If you make a quick pass, it could be a 10-cent. No. Allison solved the mystery for us, and she helps us out with this picture showing the HD cap, which stands for Holly Decorations Made by Noel. So it's a HD cap, not a 10-cent cap. So by 1957, cent caps were rolling, very popular. Let's see how we did. Somewhere out in the wild, there might be a 2 for 25-cent cap. And there might be a 12-cent cap. And when you find them and want to say, look what I found, look what I found, email me pictures at booksbyjody2021@gmail.com. We can always do a cent caps 4 video. If you haven't seen the first and second cent cap videos, check them out. I offer up even more details about the Scoville Manufacturing Company who made the caps. And check out booksbyjody.com, where I post tree pictures, answer ornament questions. Thanks for buying my books and watching our videos. Our being a huge shout out to my husband Carl, cameraman, video editor. I don't give him enough credit. A very special Merry Christmas to the helpers sharing their knowledge and ornaments. I couldn't do videos without your help, so thanks again. And to all, a very, very, very Merry Christmas.